Welcome back to this portion of our Real Estate Radio Hour. And by the way, to our previous caller, John, who wondered about that Florida property thing, we should give the information of not for John, but any CCO listener who may be in need of real estate help here or anywhere. And that toll-free number is 800-246-1867. I'll give that to you again, but you should also check out the realestateradiohour.com website. Great resource. So if you forget everything, think of the Real Estate Radio Hour, and you'll find it. And you got the question, right? What the question button there?
Ask a question. Yep.
You've got nosy neighbor or busy neighbor.
Yep.
I guess.
Mark it up. Button.
Yeah.
But
call. And that's what the line was strictly set up for our CCO listeners who need more specific information. 800-246-1867.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? We were talking with Jesse Trebil about the foundations. And I'm sure there's these guys, they got engineers and the whole thing. How do you discover something is wrong? What do you look for? What can you see?
That's a good question. How do you know?
One thing about Jesse, I'd say, is that the guy's an expert in that arena. I mean, he started way back, even doing foundations, I believe, and so he's had the experience of all aspects of the foundation from beginning to end. But I think he's being modest here. This guy is actually beyond just being a basement expert. We actually have patents that he's patented that are being used across the country. And of course, I sound like I'm brown-nosing a little bit here, but you're a great guy. You got a lot of great products, and that's why we brought you in. You're a great resource. And, we just thought that for the listeners that are out there, that how many people get scared of that foundation problem, it's a major deal. And like I said earlier, it's a great opportunity for you sometimes to save a lot of money when you're buying a house because everybody else is scared of it. And with Jesse, you don't have to be.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words.
Did I read that right? Okay, good.
Yeah, just
Sorry.
as I wrote it. No. It can be a big deterrent when people are coming and thinking about buying a house and there's that odd crack that they're not sure about or whatever might be happening, doors and windows sticking or just odd things that there's not a direct answer for. And that's where we come in. And a lot of times it doesn't cost near as much money as you think it might. And it can usually always be guaranteed. We offer 25-year guarantees on all of our structural repairs, and basement waterproofing is a lifetime guarantee. And, we have been at it for quite a while. I started in 91, but my family's been doing it since the 70s.
Yeah. So let's talk about some telltale signs that you got a foundation problem. I know that if windows are sticking or doors are sticking.
Absolutely. If the foundation is tipping or leaning, all of a sudden your walls and your house isn't square. It isn't level anymore, and it might be twisting, which causes doors to stick, windows to not open and close the way they should. You get drafts, that kind of stuff. And obviously water and mold, that's all dangerous things to have happen.
Well, I think we've all seen that. You look at the older houses that are built back, in 1900s, early 1900s, and you slide across the kitchen floor as you're trying to walk, or the hump in the hallway or whatever. And that, so those are signs of foundation settling, correct?
Absolutely. If you drop your marbles, they all roll to the same corner every time. You can't really lose your marbles that way, I guess.
Exactly.
That is true. How about the cracks in your block, in your foundation? What are some telltale signs? I know everyone has some expansion stuff, but when you know there might be some sort of issue, what are you looking for?
Well, in Minnesota with the frost and everything, there isn't a foundation in Minnesota without a crack. It's the angry cracks, we call them, the ones that maybe are leaking water or are shifting, opening up. During wet times, they expand, and during dry times, they'll close back up. It means the strength in your wall has been compromised, and a big rain could potentially cave your wall in. So if the lateral strength in the wall is gone. But if you have a horizontal crack, typically it's the walls are bowing in. If you have some cracks that are kind of going straight up from floor to top, and you've got a corresponding crack in your floor running across to the other corner, you could have a settling issue. And it's best to have us come in and take a look at that stuff. We offer free estimates, and we can be there right away.
What's your average repair cost, do you think?
I would say 80% of our repairs are under $10,000. The majority of them, $5,000.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, and if you could save $30,000 on a purchase of a property, might be a great way to do it.
Well, and that's one angle of looking at it. And I think I look at it and I say of selling a property, how much that's going to affect you if you don't have that fixed. And I mean, if people see that, I mean, there's nothing that scares people more. You made a comment about one good rain is going to push that in. Well, that's exactly what buyers start thinking, don't they? After 90 days on the market and they see that crack, it's obvious. The house is going to fall down.
How about the couple that built the house 30 years ago in Minnetonka, like I had a couple years back, where we listed the house, and the contractor, when they were backfilling the foundation, actually bowed it in a little bit, and everybody was assured that it's fine. It still looks good now. How many years of it sitting there? But the consumers coming in the door, I'll say, there's a problem here. There's no way this is going to stay, and it's already been there, 30-plus years. But it's sometimes being proactive, I suppose, is the best way to be, and that's why we brought you in, to those that are selling or thinking about buying, not be afraid of it.
Well, that's exactly right. And sometimes there's some simple fixes that don't cost anything. A lot of times we're going around and we're just giving advice. Simple re-landscaping of the yard can work wonders.
All right, we have to take a break here, and we'll certainly take a look at that forecast, too, coming up. I can tell you it's 36 degrees, more of the Real Estate Radio Hour. Coming up, another half hour of the show here on 830 WCCO.